Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Hercules, a champion that I admittedly do not own in any significant rarity. However, I have consumed a lot of media discussions and everything else in regards of this champion because it's impossible to escape the levels of hype that he represents right now. However, before I get into any sort of opinion discussion about this champion that I may or may not have, I definitely have to give several disclaimers on the topic because the yellow number police is very hard at work patrolling majority of the line chats, YouTube comment sections, and Kabam forum threads. All of a sudden, everybody seems to be a defense attorney, and all of them have taken the case of Hercules, demanding the respect that this god allegedly deserves prior to his actual arrival in the game. Well, I do have a problem with that, however, because in my mind, a big number does not necessarily equate to being amazing or in demand, or we all would be running Hela right now. And by that, I'm not saying that Hela doesn't have her uses, but I don't think any one of you will argue that we're going to see Hela in most used Alliance or Alliance Quest champion options anytime soon. Right. Anyhow, let's just start it by breaking it down. First and foremost, I think Hercules is going to be relatively good champion. I wish him the best. Ultimately, none of us know exactly how popular, how used, or how good he's going to end up being. Why? Because he's done nothing yet. Everything that you're pretty much discussing right now is theoretical or borderline everything. That being said, obviously there are some things that we can predict and some similarities that people like to draw, and obviously unprecedented levels of hype, well, maybe rivaled by the level of hype for Cosmic Ghost Rider or Strife. Both of whom actually will serve very well to present my point. In terms of Strife, the champion has plummeted faster from his hype than I would plummet to the bottom of sea after having had 59 tacos. That doesn't even really work because I would shoot up because... Never mind. Anyways, Strife is not all that present in top tier game right now, is he? But we can write that down to Strife being a ramp-up champion, and there might not have been a content release for that. But let's take a look at Cosmic Ghost Rider. And I know that there is a very special garrison from Yellow Numbers Police that have dedicated their lives to Cosmic Ghost Rider. And a lot of people hold that champion to very high esteem. And that's perfectly fine. I think he's good. I value him, I think, fairly. But at the same time, Cosmic Ghost Rider is not quite a champion that's must have for any piece of content. He's not really in top of Alliance War offensive options now, is he? In fact, you see him extremely rarely in Alliance War, mainly to get rid of some annoying killmongers. But he's definitely not even in top 10 or 20 most used Alliance War champions. Neither he is an Alliance Quest champion. What I do personally use Cosmic Ghost Rider for is potion farming in Realm of Legends, occasional Cav EQ if he fits well enough with the nodes, and then I have used him for a couple of paths in Variant 7, a couple of paths in 7.2. That being said, I do fully well understand that there are people who use Cosmic Ghost Rider for a lot more fights than I do. But at the same time, I also do believe that people try to use Cosmic Ghost Rider for more than they should have, than for more than he's actually suited or good for, based on how much they like him. I do not think that Cosmic Ghost Rider as a champion is answering any significant amount of problem fights or problem path or problem content currently in the game. Now that might change, and my opinion of Cosmic Ghost Rider might change. But right now, not a single person who doesn't have a highly ranked Cosmic Ghost Rider is effectively missing out a key answer to a problem fight in any meaningful piece of content. That is the point. And I think the same will be and can be said for Hercules. Now, he's 100% going to be a popular champion. You're 100% going to see further PR campaign of him being on front and center. Look at amazing numbers. I will upload a video on Hercules at some point. Hey, this is the guy. I ranked him up, but main reason for me to acquire the champion right now is prestige. Because that is important for where I am at in the game. And I would still grind for him, or I would try to get him even if he would be Groot. If he had those prestige numbers. That is de facto. Bottom line, what is important for me right now in the game. That being said, yes, he's going to be a popular champion. Why? Because he hits hard. Any champion that can put up big enough numbers is going to be loved by someone. Question is where you're going to need to use him. And I don't think that there are going to be many cases. There are several significant niche bits of utility, like his immortality could be useful in some place. But at the same point, it will have nothing to do with Alliance War because it's not immune to ability accuracy reduction. So anybody who says Cosmic Ghost Rider, the Hercules is going to be insane for Alliance War because of his immortality, false. You will never be able to rely on it because Assassin's Mastery exists. What else? He has ability to bypass miss. But that ability is tied to level 1, and there will be plenty of times when it's going to be A, tricky to get your level 1s to activate it, or B, keep it up 100%. So who would you rather use to bypass miss? Human Torch, Nick Fury, or Hercules? Probably Human Torch and Nick Fury. He can be and will be effectively immune to stun, which is fair enough. But again, that role can be filled by Nick Fury and some other champions. But that is perhaps the niche utility that I think he might get some use for. And again, I'm not saying he is not going to be a champion that's not going to be useful everywhere. Not at all. I do think that, again, due to the numbers and due to the fact that a lot of people will have him ranked because of prestige, he's actually going to see more play than he possibly should. But effectively, for any effective problem that he is capable of answering, I personally believe there are better, more effective options already. And that is a very harsh critique to have, because we have so many champions, right? And that's also so important to understand, that it is very hard for a champion to reach quite the top peak of the game. And it's perfectly fine that not every champion does. Just like I don't believe that Hercules will. I don't think that Hercules is better than Hyperion, for instance. I don't think that Hercules is better than Chorus. Heck, I'd be quite doubtful that he's better than Cosmic Ghost Rider, for instance. However, will he be a good champion? Yes. Will he be a popular champion? Yes. If you disagree with me, that is perfectly fine. But, pretty please, if you disagree with me and if you're going to leave a comment that will say that you disagree with me, tell me why, and do not use an argument of a big yellow or red number, and do not use an argument because so-and-so said so. Tell me why he is better than the top champions in-game right now at anything. And I will try my best to explain my position on that. That being said, arguably, I do think he's going to be a very good champion for beginner players and newer players and people who are just coming up to the ranks, trying to brute force through Act 5 and Act 6 because of his immortality and because of his numbers. Being said, the fights that Iron Patriot can do, he's going to do better, but he's going to have his immortality and added extra, obviously, damage and speed, plenty of things like that, and tankiness. So I do think that there will be a really large group of people that will significantly benefit from this champion being added to the game. I just don't necessarily think that that group of people is going to be the top tier of the game. I think it's going to be mid to the lower tiers of the game because of his ability to bypass death and activated immortality, keep it up for a while, and because of big yellow numbers, and because in map 5 it does not. That's why Cosmic Ghost Rider is popular for an AQ map 5, because you can pretty much use any champion. That's why, yeah, you can use any champion in AQ map 3, 4, and 5 pretty much. You can bring most of the champions in your Act 5 and Act 4 fights. I think there he will be popular, just like Domino is still, let's say, popular there, and just like Cosmic Ghost Rider, there seems to be absolutely enchanting players there. However, I do not think that he is going to take over significant portion of end game fights in any competitive or problem content. For all of his pluses and all of his abilities that he can do, there are plenty of downsides. And I'm not interested in trying to belittle the character. I do think he's perfectly fine addition. But I also do think that the levels of hype for this champion have to be mitigated, because he will not be able to live up to that. And that is what I believe. There are people already commenting on like my top 2020 champions so far. Now you'd have to give it to Hercules. Now you'd have to change champion number spot 1 to Hercules. I can promise you, Shang-Chi is 3 times the champion this guy can ever hope to be. That being said, he might be the second. He's not better than that. It's always interesting when there's so much hype. Anyways, let me know what you think. And I personally think that, yes, he's going to be good. But he will not be the answers. He will not be the answer to the problems that you're looking for. How your answers. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to hit that dislike button. And I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information